Actually, one more thing before anything else. There are bookshelves in here as well, and it says on here, stacks of books that are a mixture of industrial reference material and scientific journals. Nothing particularly illuminating there. Yeah, and that big hole in the wall gave me the willies when I first came in here, I can tell you that much. From the debris, I'd say something huge broke into the room not too long ago. There's blood and slime everywhere. And blood on the floor as well. Whatever happened in here, someone must have been in a great deal of pain. We've got some cabinets, we've got slugs on the wall. Get a rather weird message with the slugs as well. So much death and disease down here, I suppose slugs were an inevitability. I don't really understand that. I mean, sure, slugs are a bit disgusting. I don't particularly like them, but they're not a sign of death and disease. Slugs eat, sorry. Slugs eat, like, plant material and things like that, you know, and, well, really big slugs eat other slugs. But otherwise, they're not exactly like a symbol of death and disease. So that's a bit from the game designers, maybe just thinking, oh, slugs are disgusting. We'll say that anyway. And in here we appear to have, these are specimen jars. They look like lava or some sort of larval stage. Where is he? He's here somewhere. Of the worm. I don't think I can pick him up anyway. Yeah, it looks like a larval stage of the worm. Someone's doing research on these worms. These grey rock worms, whatever they are. What does this bit of paper say? Professor. These are the biomedical journals of Dr. J. Peters, MSc, PhD, completed with the dates of 30th of March 1969 and 1st of January 1972. Now, at this point here, I was wondering if this was our father. More disturbances, but there we go. Okay, let's get back to this note, the rockworm study. So I was wondering if this was our father, maybe. I think he's been doing research, but I can't remember the last name of the main character, if it's Peters or not. But I thought maybe it was. Well, maybe we'll find that later or not. I don't know. At the Northwestern Research Station within the Northwestern Iron Mine, with the permission of Delta Mining Corp. Replication of selected extracts left at the disposal of mine foreman. Subject of study: genus Rhyacophila. Rhyacophila. Commonly, the grey rockworm. Aim to investigate the abnormal presence of the caddis in the Greenland rock. Now, caddis makes me think of caddis flies, which is a creature that makes a shell for itself out of debris, but I'm not sure if caddis maybe refers to chrysalids, or anyway, samples of the worm that are in the rock. Method: collection of samples, if indeed they can be identified correctly. Standard issues: series of testing, observation, and dissection. Personal notes: upon arriving at the mine facility, I was immediately stunned by the sheer volume of fauna, that's animals as opposed to plants or vegetation, fauna that finds a way of life down here, despite the conditions. In general, one would assume that species whose natural habitat is past a certain depth would find the intrusion of human activity too great a threat to remain in place. However, almost the exact opposite seems to be the case in this instance. It is curious that certain areas of the mine appear to be entirely without life of any kind, and yet other, deeper areas are teeming. And, with the situation permitting, I would embrace the opportunity to commit further time to the study of these organisms. However, the purpose of my stay here should be continued to be the genus Rhyacophila. Me. So this is someone separate from the professor. Ah, finding some writing paper. Look at me, just using up the pages to scrawl down whatever comes into my head. Ha! What is this stuff anyway? Some kind of research paper. No matter, it's paper all the same. I can finally recall what's been happening down here for, well, I suppose about a year now. It must be near the end of 2001 by now. I wonder when Christmas was. No matter, too tired to write now. I will rest a little first. This is someone from, yes, something much more recent, around the time of the regular traffic that they mentioned in the... Actually, no, it's not true. No. No, this is after the unusual traffic at night time, isn't it? This is much more recent. This is just before us coming here, I guess. This is fairly recent. Yeah, so whoever it is just scrawling on the paper, and it's nothing to do with the scientific research. Professor again. Samples collected. The collection process has been far easier than I anticipated. The setup of the artificial environment for the rockworm without a hitch. That's in the corner of this room. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And the specimens themselves are so abundant as to make them keeping them out far more challenging than keep containing them. They are all of healthy size, perhaps even beyond recorded size. I can only assume that this is due to some lack of natural predators down here. Specimens are as follows: 3 adults in an artificial habitat, 2 larval infants dead. Me. I've been down here for 2 days now. Was meaning to record events every day, but I was too busy securing the area. I've used some supplies from the old mining system to wall myself in here. That's why the wall was there. It seems as safe a place as any, so those things should at least stay put for a little while. To that end, it seems I've had a pretty lucky stumbling here. It's a strange way of writing it. A pretty lucky stumbling here. All this old research is about something similar to what's been hunting me ever since I escaped the shelter 4 days ago. The shelter. Now, we have no idea what the shelter is. Red did refer to people coming out of the metal door, the iron door, and he then hunted them down. Something like that, I seem to remember. So maybe that's the shelter. Anyway, don't get me wrong. After what they did to me back there, I'd rather be facing anything else. And after almost a year of fighting for our lives, we didn't really stand a chance anyway. I don't know how many are left inside. So people inside such a shelter being experimented on. Something to do with the well, that was actually the earlier report from the first cave we came into with the about the Xeno reports. That was talking about experimenting on people, I think, wasn't it? Maybe the past miners. Maybe all the miners didn't die in whatever that thing they said about an explosion. That was around a long time before, though, wasn't it? Don't know. But this is good. These notes might have some way to fight these things. The rockworms that followed me here. I don't know how they knew I was coming or how they managed to follow me in the dark, but maybe I can work that out now. I found some old newspaper clippings. I guess they're referring to this mine. I had no idea it was so old, so big. I can see now why they built that facility here in the first place. A lot of history is buried down here. It worries me, though. We've been resting on our hopes on rescuing one of the scientists who escaped right at the start of it all. Again, maybe wondering if this was our father somehow. At one point he was declared dead and then came back, I seem to remember, in the Biog at the very start of the game. Anyway. He got out almost as the chaos began, so we figured he might have made it out. And brought help, but maybe me and him are due the same fate. I must record what's been going on, give the world the answers it needs so it doesn't fall prey to what's been released down here. But first I need to worry about myself, find a way out of here and work out how to kill these worm things. Back to the Professor. Observations. The creatures are indeed larger than has previously been recorded. The juveniles seem to be still growing, far beyond their natural limits, although the adults have now expired. I will watch with interest to see what the lifespan is of this particular subspecies. The worms appear to have 3 senses, as will be validated by previous research. Taste, smell, and an extremely sensitive sense of touch, which allows them to detect vibrations in the rock in the same way that the human eye senses beams of light and processes them into spatial images. Their natural prey is insects smaller than themselves, and heaven help those insects, because the worm is a voracious and efficient killer. Me. He's wrong. They have no sense of smell. Today I attempted to distract them with a concoction I found lying around, but to no avail. However, it does seem that they detect movement via vibrations, which explain how they can see in the dark. Damn, there's almost no way to escape them down here. I'm on their territory now. Lifespan is 3 days and counting. His lifespan, I presume. I can still hear them outside the wall. As an extra precaution, I've locked myself into the smaller study area, connected to the main lab room, which I think is this room here we're in. If they get through that wall, I doubt this door will stop them, but it's better than nothing. Barely. Professor. Conclusions. This subspecies of genus Rhacophala is highly adapted for its environment. If released above the surface, it seems likely that it would quickly destroy the existing rockworm population, and soon after that the population would grow to a size far outstripping its own food supplies. Which is not so bad, because it would just, when you're a species that uses up all its food supplies, well, you die off, or at least you die back to acceptable levels. Given its increase in size and lifespan already due to unknown conditions, I would hypothesize that the worm, if left in such conditions for a reasonable period of time, perhaps 3,000 to 4,000 years, will grow up to a further 3 inches, making it a total of almost 1 foot long. Which doesn't, of course, sound at all like the rockworm we met, the one in the corridor, the huge one that was about 20 foot long. So all this time we've been reading about this and seeing the pictures, and you couldn't really tell the scale. Well, as I say, back in the 1970s, the professor was looking at worms that were unusually big, but were not that big. So what caused them to grow so quickly? Accelerated evolution. However, should those conditions conditions change or indeed magnify, physical evolution could occur far more rapidly. So either something has been done to them, or the radical change in conditions in some way has caused them to grow massively. And what the hell they're eating apart from us, I don't know. Me. It's the 5th day today, and I swear they have begun to surround my location. I can't tell whether or not they have breached the wall I built, but I'm certain they've entered whatever area surrounds this room. The future looks increasingly bleak. I intend to record here the events of the past year, in the hope that perhaps what occurred could be contained or driven away. Now I realise I could write what I wanted. No one will ever make it down here to read it. So why write this now? Good question. I have no answer. All I do know is I'd rather take my own life than die at the jaws of those hideous monsters. I've tied a noose. Those monsters may feed on my corpse, but they won't take my life. And there we go. So presumably this chair was part of the whole hanging thing, but what he was hanging himself from I don't know, because this sort of light, this wouldn't hold a person's weight. So I don't know. But I'm presuming that they tried to hang themselves in some way, some ingenious rope arrangement, and then the worm came in here and ate them, like the corpse. I was sort of a bit worried that I might have to go down here, but thankfully not. You can't even get through there. And there's anything useful in these cabinets, I don't think. No, there isn't. And then here's the what's the name for a worm farm or a worm house? That's a vermarium or something like that? I don't know. It's like a little habitat for the worms. It's an artificial habitat. Those things look long dead. I think I know how they felt not being able to get out. I presume this is the 2... No, they said the 3 juvenile. It's the 3 adults who died. Say about 2 juveniles? This may be the 2 juveniles, but they're dead in there for whatever reason. I've got some more worm specimens in here. So they were doing a bit of growing of the larvae. Got some slime. There's only one green-blooded land-dwelling creature big enough to lose this much blood, and I don't see many skink lizards hanging about. Have skink lizards got green blood? I don't know. Octopi have blue blood because of the copper in there, but I don't know about skinks. Anyway, there's one more thing to do in here, but we'll do what I did in the previous play, which is to walk back out again.
While you hunt for those delicate, melt-in-your-mouth mousy morsels, there are places you should not go, for fear of death. The Reaper lives here, just like you and I. And just like you and I, he must ingest the living flesh of those less fortunate. There is a small place that I do not want you to visit, even on your holidays, because it is dark and evil place that I've been. When the darkness has overwhelmed my small decaying mind, some bad things flowed from my mind and through my pen. The brilliant blue ink itself seemed to turn to blood into my grace. And by the way, should you turn peckish, red is at its finest sautéed with a little engine oil.
There you go, fella. You can watch the movie show. Oops. There we go. Yeah, so we're not quite sure what Red's talking about there, but we presume it's here. Now there's one other thing we can do in here. We can turn on the light. Thank you, spooky music. Blood is deep, lonely. Head is being something. Darkness eats parasite in head. Flesh feeds no light. Yeah, so Red was saying something about writing things when he wasn't right in the head. Well, he's still not right in the head, but there's writing scored everywhere. It must be ultraviolet ink. Definitely the product of a deranged mind, but whose? I was thinking maybe initially this was blood, because, you know, blood and other proteins show up under other things turn up the UV light. You ever seen nature programs about scorpions in the desert that use shiny UV light and they glow blue? That's because of the UV light. So there you go. So, yeah. Not healthy at all. But But it's interesting that Red is still a little concerned that of our opinion of him, despite how nuts he is. He wouldn't want us to come in here and see what state he's in. But there we go. Well, okay, Red. We'll go and get you some rat if we can. Whether we can sauté an engine or doesn't matter. So, right then. What else can we do here? Have I not done yet? Oh, the trouble with repeating things. And what you've done and what you've not done. Okay, there's only one place left to go now. We still can't get through the door, the locked door, in the part of this mine. But we haven't tried shaft... We haven't tried shaft 12 yet, is it? No, this is 12. We haven't tried 13 yet, so we'll pop over that way. Past the doggies, and I can show you something else along the way as well. Interesting, but not quite as useful, maybe. I can see why they needed fencing down here, but why use barbed wire? What were they trying to keep out? Ah, I think I've maybe missed something on a save file. I'm not sure. I was expecting something else. Maybe not. Well, I've had to reload save files. I'm wondering maybe I've gone too far through one. But we'll see. Let's get past this dog. It's a shame if I have. There he goes. Don't look at him, Phil. Don't look at him. We can get past him in a second. I'm going to go a bit further that way. And we'll wait for him to cycle back around again. So he needs to come back over here and then we can sneak past. I think we're also missing an item as well. We are missing an item. No, we're not. We've got it, actually. No, it's alright. Okay. Okay. I'll stick with the bolt cutters again. Go on, doggy. Get out of the way. It's quite amazing how close you can get to them, really, and they don't notice you. I've hidden, you know, almost completely within plain sight before now, with the blue glow around me, just looking the other way and just walk straight past. They have to be right on top of you. He'll be here in a second. I can hear his footsteps. Here he comes. So he's there. And he goes a bit further. And we're done. And number 13. There should be one more dog over here, unless I have got the save files wrong. I should have saved again as well, really, but never mind. That's the refinery. Maybe I've skipped a save file slightly. That's annoying if I have, haven't I? Oh, damn it. I'm really sorry. I wish I could show you that. But I don't think I'll be able to. What have I done over here that I haven't done? So annoying. Maybe I've already done this part then. Oh, I'm really sorry if I have. I thought I got an early enough save file, but maybe not. I've already done this part? No, I haven't. Okay. So what have I done then? Okay, so the only bit I've missed is killing the dog. Right. There's usually a dog patrolling over here. Over this way. We've already got rid of him, though. Because this is these are steam pipes here. And it says here... Where is it? Not going to tell me again? It's not going to tell me again. It says that you can use the steam pipes to do some real damage if you want to, and you can pull the lever over here, and it emits steam from there. And what you do is you put a bit of the jerky down here, and when the dog patrols over this way, he gets close enough that he smells it, wanders in, goes nom nom, and then you steam him. And you'd think, you know, it's an undead dog, smacking him in the head doesn't seem to do anything, but steaming him enough times will kill him. Okay, so that's one way to get rid of the dog, but you can't really do anything with the dog afterwards. You can't. I thought maybe dog meat for Red to eat. But no, he doesn't want to eat. He can't take it to the dog. The corpse vanishes after you come back out here, and he doesn't respawn. So I don't know. There's one more steam room over that way towards the entrance as well, but it doesn't really serve much purpose. You can just dodge the dog, really. Anyway, at least we're not going to miss out on this part. This is a fun bit next.